Diddy and Cassie. So Diddy was sued by Cassie after accusations for SA, as we all know, and he settled. He settled real fast. So I'm sure that the rumor was that she was suing for about like 30 mil, 8 figures, man, just going after the pockets. And I went through the whole court case. I went through the whole thing. Shout out to the lead attorney for breaking it down on his YouTube channel. Read the whole thing, and the deposition, it read like a book. She released a book legally. She released the book without releasing the book. It was that detailed. And the Vulture, I don't have time. I was gonna try to go over it, but I didn't have time, so I decided to I found the Vulture. They pretty much broke it down. They said Cassie sued Diddy in federal court on November 16th, accusing the hip hop mainstay of rape and a 10-year pattern of abuse that began when she was 19 years old. And it's important that when he said 19, because in her lawsuit, her lawyers made sure to put things like middle-aged Sean Combs was with teenager Cassie. And just like what lead attorney said on his show, when we hear teenager, it's kind of like what R. Kelly hears when he hears teenager, because they did it on purpose. 19 years old, she's an legal adult. She's an adult, but her lawyers knew exactly what they were doing. They painted a picture. They put teenager Cassie against middle-aged P. Diddy, because he was like, what, 39 or something at the time or whatever when they met. And that paints a picture in your head. The second you hear that in your head, you're thinking 13, 14, 15, 16. You're not thinking of a 19-year-old, even though she was 19. Nothing about that was illegal, but they painted the picture in the head. They did that on purpose. It was a crazy lawsuit. If you get a chance to download and read the whole thing, check it out. The R&B singer who was once signed to Diddy's label, Bad Boy, Can't Stop, Won't Stop. See if I can get my picture up in there. Alleged trafficking, human trafficking, SB, I'm gonna say it like that, SA, and gender motivated violence, among other cases of action. The filing claimed his controlling behavior started when she met him in 2005. After she signed a deal with Diddy's record label following years, he allegedly exerted complete control over her life, including her apartment, car, clothing, and even her medical records to keep her under his thumb. In that lawsuit, one of the first things that was mentioned was the fact that she was under a 10-album contract. I don't think any artist in Bad Boy has hit 10 albums except Diddy himself, maybe. We invented the remix, Puff Daddy and the Family. I mean, the only one who wouldn't need a contract like that is the owner himself. He probably has more solo albums than all of his other artists. Biggie had what, 2, 3 before he died? Mace, I think, had 3. I don't even think Mace was under that long of a contract. I think he was under a 4 or 5 album deal. That's kind of reasonable for a new artist. You can reach 5 if you know. But an R&B as competitive as it was and is to this day, brand new artists, you expecting her to be Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Taylor Swift. After that second album, you're gonna hit that 3rd or 4th, 5th album real quick. But still, 10. Most people retire before even getting to a 10th album. They consider that a slave contract. Let me skip down. What was Diddy accused of in the lawsuit? The lawsuit alleged several instances of abuse committed by Diddy, including rape, battery, and forced sex acts with male workers. In the filing, Cassie depicted the mogul, head of her former label and then romantic partner. They were both dating and he was her boss. Was a textbook abuser, luring her into what she first perceived as fatherly, protective relationship, only to find herself in an unequal and violent relationship. Diddy successfully kept her under his thumb through his alleged intimidation tactics, which consisted of blowing up a man's car, dangling a friend over a 17th floor balcony, and asking her to carry his his gun for her. She never went to the police out of fear that it would merely give Mr. Combs another excuse to hurt her. Which, I mean, and what lead attorney mentioned was that when you write one of these lawsuits, you're painting a picture, and their job is to make it as compelling, and they have to really lay it on. So the only reason why he said he was skeptical about some of the things that were happening is because he wrote so many of them. And if you go to the lead attorney, and it's a 4-hour video, it's a 4-hour talk, but it's about like 2 hours of just reading and breaking down the lawsuit. I listened to the whole thing, and I read along with him the whole thing. I mean, to the point where Diddy was having Cassie host what he called an FO, a fuck off, or freak off. I'll say freak off, but it really, the 4-letter word, a freak off, where she was expected to be with other male sex workers for him to watch for his entertainment. And when we got to that part of the case, that's when I knew she was going to win. That's when I knew he was going to settle, and that's when I knew that part of her accusations was believable, because in there it mentioned that not only did he record these sessions, he had her record them too. She alleged in the filing that she was so disgusted she would delete them. But what if she didn't delete them all? Or what if she could get in touch with, and she also was in charge, Diddy charged her to set up these meetings in these hotels all over in Atlanta and New York hotels and the Trump Tower and internationally. It's time for an F off. A freak off. It's time. Come on, set it up, Cassie. Is what he would. So she would get on the websites and set it up. What if she was able to recall one of these gentlemen or get one of these persons to come through? The second I read that part of the lawsuit, I was not surprised that Diddy settled so fast. I believe she could prove it. I believe she could call one of those guys that he had her mess with and corroborate the story at least once. Or she kept one of those videos which incriminated him. Either that, or her lawyers made him believe that it was possible. And if you're worth $500 million or $1 billion, I forgot what Diddy says he's with Bad Boy and everything. It's not valued at what it used to be. It's just, you got to settle. You can't take the risk. So that's where I was with that. I was like, oh, he's settling. And it took less than 24 hours. Boom. Settled. I wish her well. We were ending on a good, and I'm pretty sure that she can't talk about it. She can't disclose how much she got, but I'm pretty sure she walked out with I'm going to say at least 10 mil after paying the lawyers and everything. I'm going to guess 10 million, but we'll never know. We'll never know. But when I read that, when I got to that part of the lawsuit that said he had her set up these freak offs, and her record them on her private phones, that means she had control over it. Why wait when the laws changed and you were able to file assault charges against a previous attacker or an alleged attacker? Because everybody's innocent until proven guilty, and he hasn't been convicted of anything. Why wait till the last minute? Well, he brought this up, and it was said that it's because you it's a tactic because you're in the middle of negotiations to try to settle or to win your lawsuit before you have to officially file. Because once it's filed, you can't unring that bell. So negotiations was probably happening all the way up to when it was publicly known that the lawsuit was filed. And by the time the law, and you're not gonna give out your whole hand before you file. So when it was filed and that deposition came out, I read that whole thing. I was like, oh no, he's settling. P. Diddy ain't gonna sit through all that. He ain't gonna. You remember when P. Diddy recently, if you follow this stuff, P. Diddy recently gave the masters of his artists' work back to a lot of his artists, if not all of them. I now believe, I can't prove this, but I now believe that was a image tactic because Taylor Swift has been trending about, getting the masters of her music back and re-recording them so she doesn't have to share her money with the people that she used to work with. And getting the masters back to your work is a very hard thing to do. But P. Diddy was like, hey, you know what? Because I'm such a nice guy. Here your masters back. Here you go. You the master now. You the master. Here you go. Those songs ain't worth nothing no more. Biggie's still the biggest artist in Bad Boy. Ain't nobody listening really listen to Mace anymore. I mean, P. Diddy and the fam, they ain't making no record labels. I mean, studios aren't buying that much of P. Diddy songs for soundtracks. Bad Boy 3 and Bad Boy 4 were the last movies that even cared. I guarantee you Bad Boys music will be nowhere near the next installment of the Bad Boys movie. And Bad Boys for Life is the perfect song for that damn soundtrack. But nope. I guarantee you that Diddy ain't going to be getting nowhere near that soundtrack deal. So when giving the masters back to all of his artists was probably a tactic. I can't prove this, but I would not be surprised if somewhere on the fine print said, if I give you back the masters of your music, you are now agreeing to forego any chance to ever sue me for anything in the future or something like that. Something to protect them. That's probably why he did it. You don't give away something for nothing. So I'm sure 100%. What's up, Geekly Good? We got Geekly Good in the house, man. What's up, fam? How you doing? I see you, baby. But I am 100% sure that that's what's going on. That Diddy, it said, I looked up Diddy's net worth, Drag. It said, and I couldn't find, I heard that it was a billion. Diddy's net worth, 1.0 billion. Taylor Swift, now 1.1. Oh, yeah. Diddy, and after this is all said and done, let me go back to it real quick again. Let me go back. After this is all said and done, Diddy ain't gonna be worth $1 billion after this. This was a drop in the bucket, but what's going to hit his overall? Because she didn't just sue him; she sued the company. This was a personal lawsuit against him. A lawsuit against not being protected as an artist. Sexual harassment, all that. It's going to eventually. It's going to catch up to him. Let me see. What do we know about the settlement? The two parties did not disclose terms of settlement, which came just one day after Cassie's filed the lawsuit. We have decided to resolve this matter amicably, Diddy said in a statement on November 18th. I wish Cassie and her family all the best. Love. By reaching an agreement out of court, Diddy avoided new, likely damaging evidence being made available during the process of legal discovery. Just so we're clear, a decision to settle a lawsuit, especially in 2023, is in no way an admission of wrongdoing. Ben Brafman, a lawyer for Diddy, said in a statement on November 20th, Mr. Combs' decision to settle the lawsuit does not in any way undermine his flat-out denial of the claims. He is happy to get they got the matter settled and wish Mrs. Ventura the best. Ventura, yes, Satan. Cassie's civil lawsuit was brought under the Adult Supervision Act, a New York law that gives victims sexual abuse who were 18 or older at the time of the alleged abuse a 1-year window to bring a case in New York after any statute of limitation that's expired. So the statute of limitations of most of this stuff was already gone. But that new act allowed, like the woman who sued Trump and other people to have a 1 year window of opportunity to file a lawsuit again. And it was almost, the deadline was almost up. She waited to the very last minute to get that accusation. To get that lawsuit up there. And the second it hit, it took him less than a day. How has the music industry reacted? Kesha changed the lyrics of her chart-topping 2019 hit TikTok seemingly in response to the allegations per USA Today. The song originally opened with the line, "Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy." I remember that performance in 2019. However, the song begins, "Wake up in the morning feeling like me." 50 Cent commented on the settlement in a now deleted Instagram post, insinuating that Diddy is not yet in the clear. Complex reported, and I know why he had. Yeah, you better delete that because you don't want him trying to sue you. He paid that money real quick. Should have done that before the sharks saw the blood in the water. And here they come in 5, 4, 3. Every woman he put his hands on, he wrote. Boom. That's why he deleted it. Last one. Former Danity Kane member Aubrey O'Day responded to the allegation on November 16th. She expressed support for Cassie, tweeting, "She's been trying to tell y'all." She's attached screenshots of news headlines about the lawsuit. Danity Kane was formed by Diddy. All right. What other allegations is he facing? After Casey's lawsuit came to light in 2019, interviews with Virginia resurfaced, detailing alleged instances of physical abuse. In a conversation with the controversial internet personality Tasha K, Diddy's ex-girl, Tasha K, the YouTuber, accused the CEO of once stomping on her stomach. You know she gonna sue. She need the money. She needs the money to get to allegedly get Cardi B off her back. Because that's not alleged. She lost that case. She lost that case, and she says she's having a hard time paying it. So yeah, that's been some crazy stuff, man.